All right. What is up? The Nagy Nation, it is Phil Nagy. It is Kit Nagy. It is the Nagy on Sports here, bringing you some Week 2 action as voted on by you, the faithful fans of the channel here. Excited to bring this one to you. It is going to be the Baltimore Ravens headed into Cincinnati. Of course, Cincinnati embarrassed in Week 1 by the Browns and the sheets of rain, apparently, and maybe Joe Burrow's calf not being all the way back. But in Madden, it's hard to replicate those things, and of course, we told you that when they win in the sim, usually they lose in real life or vice versa. So we'll take the dubs in real life for sure, but you voted on this one, and so Joe Burrow and his mates will be hosting the Baltimore Ravens here with a chance to potentially start 0-2 in the division if they can't get it done today. Kid, how we doing tonight?
Yeah, doing well, and yeah, we do force wins here in our franchise for the season, but of course, even with the forced loss to the Browns for the Bengals, Jamar Chase's stats looked a lot better than they did in real life.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, clearly Madden didn't get the memo of the weather in that one. All right, back out onto the field is Joe Football. Yes, or the defense. Well, it's going to take some time, I think, to get that respect. He apparently threw for 2 touchdowns and 270 yards in that Week 1 loss when we lost the game for them. So we'll see how he is doing as well here in this one. Welcome in, Felgren. Welcome in, Will. Here's a quick handoff up the middle to Joe Mixon, and he'll be brought down by Roquan Smith. No yards on the play. Welcome in, Bo. Shotgun look here for Burrow. Back to pass quickly to the right side. Hits it to T. Higgins, who also had a big old offer. Those of us who had him on our fantasy teams, like me, can't get too upset because it was the Browns who absolutely shut down T. Higgins in that one, didn't they, Kit?
They sure did. 8 targets, no receptions, and really, I mean, some of it was throws that were affected by weather that were just left short. It was a nice throw there to Chase, finding a little seam in the defense, able to get a seed downfield to hit him in that window. But certainly some affected by weather, the grip, and then just some really blanket coverage, as well as there was some really nice plays to prevent catches, especially Delpit's breakup of T. Higgins for that slot fade was quite impressive.
Mm-hmm. That one was awesome. Sure, there he is right there on cue. T. Higgins on the deep dig route. He's got back-to-back first down throws now, does Joe Burrow. One to Chase and one to Higgins. No Marcus Williams out there in the back of the defense, injured that pec. He'll be out for a significant amount of time, not necessarily the entire season, but he's definitely going to be out here for this one. Oh, I thought it was picked off. Marlon Humphrey had his hands all over it, and Burrow's going to be lucky to get this one back. Obviously, on the other side of the ball for the Ravens, J.K. Dobbins, sucks for him so bad, just can't stay healthy. A lot like Jacob Phillips for our team, just lots and lots of talent, always produced when he was in there, but just couldn't stay healthy. And he's obviously not going to be playing anymore this year with that torn Achilles.
Yeah, Burrow there looking for T. Higgins on the last 2 play, just not finding that connection here.
And now a fumble, ball's out, it's going to be picked up. Picked up by the Ravens. Ronald Darby, the former Denver Bronco corner on the blitz from the nickel, able to pop that one out. And I missed the number, is that 99 who picked it up, so that's Odafe Owe, who picks it up after pass rushing from the outside, and now a big first down for the Ravens, flips the field here right in the middle of the field.
So, Will, from the comments, it sounds to me like you are a Bengals fan, which I'm glad to have fans of all the teams here, and definitely excited to have you here. You're right. I thought that when they started to have some success with Mixon from the game, I thought they'd go to him more frequently and using him in that shifty back role, but not using him as much in that regard as I might have thought, and you certainly don't see it as much as probably do in Madden either.
No, we definitely have had our qualms with the amount of not running that they do, for sure. And this one's going to be picked off the other way. Watch out, he might go. No, he'll get knocked down by Ronnie Stanley at the 50, and that's going to be Mike Hilton, and he picks off Lamar. And now we've had back-to-back turnovers here resulting in the Bengals getting the football right back where they gave it up a minute ago.
Yeah, they sure did, and Hilton has been such a stalwart part of this Bengals defense, shows it off there in that slot corner role, able to just take that one away by stepping in front of the receiver. And, yeah, he had a great opportunity to score, but I don't know how Stanley managed it, but he got there quickly to put a shoulder into him to knock him down, prevent the touchdown.
Indeed, little dump off there to Mixon for 4. And somebody moved a little bit early. Looked like we were the left side of that Bengals offensive line with a little bit of a wiggle. Welcome in to you tonight, Mitchell. Sounds good, Bo. Good to see you, and go Browns. Can now do the Browns sim likely on Saturday, since we got to wait all the way till Monday for the real game. Don't want to get it too early. Be able to stay our excitement. 3rd and 8 here now for Joe Burrow. He's in the shotgun. Takes the snap, and they're setting up screen left side. He dumps it off to Mixon with 2 blockers in front. He's got the first down, and just barely, but it counts none the same, just the same. And BAL CIN brings him down to the ground, but a first down for Mixon. Nice play on the screen pass. It actually worked for once.
It did, and that's actually where Mixon thrives. Get him the ball in a little bit of space, and he can make things happen. We saw it in week 1.
That one's going to be broken up there. Roquan Smith again, wearing number 0 this year. Welcome in, Wendell. Welcome in, Karen. I didn't see you pop on earlier there either. Hey, Applied, welcome in to you as well. That puts Roquan Smith in the zone already. I'm not sure what his X factor is, but he's in it right now. A little throw to the right side. Mixon again, another catch for a first down and a 10-plus yard gain. And now the Bengals inside the 30, 1st and 10. Oh no, Wendell. We'll help. We'll try to help you get figure back in. You can't remember what the name of the account was that you logged in with, or your username and password. Nice run there, about 9 yards. Back to pass for Burrow. Little angle route, right side. It's a stick route. He breaks the tackle. Irv Smith, and now down to the 10. That was a cool animation. Kind of held himself up with the left arm and got a few more yards there for the first down, and now it's a 1st and goal just inside the 10. Burrow takes the snap again. Quick throw to the right side. Higgins dropped it and then got rocked by Humphrey. Maybe he heard those footsteps. T. Higgins usually pretty sure-handed.
Yeah, he sure is.
Hey, 504, welcome in.
Sure.
Yes, indeed. I think the general consensus so far, 504, has been we're rooting for the Bengals, because most of us who are Browns fans hate the Ravens by far. Way worse than the Bengals, at least in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
And now up the middle, and Patrick Queen will get home, and he'll do a little jig. And Burrow takes a dreaded red zone sack, and that will stymie their attempt to get into the end zone. So Evan McPherson, I think both of the only 2 superstar kickers in all of Madden are going to be in this game. So superstar kicker McPherson drills this one. And the Bengals are on the board first here at Paycor. 3-0 after the back-to-back turnovers. They get into the scoring column first.
You know, Will, I agree that the Bengals have a very good chance here in Week 2 to get right against the Ravens. Never discount the Ravens; they're always good. But I kind of am a little bit. I think that defense might be a bit, thriving on reputation right now, and not as good as potentially advertised. They lost some, obviously, in their corner ranks. Marlon Humphrey's back, but they've got some other departures there. Plus, you got to remember that they don't have really. They're kind of an edge rush by committee right now, and it's not really. They don't have an established guys that they hope to have production out of. But they haven't really shown it. Ojabo, Owe, those guys haven't really had the production or the numbers, and it's the defense could still be pretty good. They've got some names, but they're not. I don't know that they're going to get as much pressure as all that, and their corners certainly aren't as good as the Browns either. I agree with that one for sure. 3rd and 13 now here for Jackson. Rolling pressure, and he'll throw it out of bounds because Trey Hendrickson was about to
annihilate him. In fact, Hendrickson did hit him pretty hard. Yes, the dog is saying hi as well, and the Ravens will punt. Here comes the other direction now. It's the rookie receiver is Sovis. Or excuse me, Charlie Jones out of Purdue. Burrow back on the field. I'll try to take care of this. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be the case, Wendell, especially this season until we've really proved it again and again. There's also been a lot of Steelers talk that has been, very high on Kenny Pickett, and we certainly didn't see it in Week 1. And if our defense can replicate what the San Francisco 49ers defense did, especially that O-line creating all that pressure, then I think he's in for a second very, very rough week.
Well, he had five touchdowns on his 5 preseason drives, and they were ready to call him the second coming of Joe Montana.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they forgot that nobody actually schemes or game plans or does anything specific in the preseason. And as soon as somebody did, they absolutely lit him up.
Right. That and the fact
I don't know how many of those drives were against starters either. Yeah.
Right. That was going to be my point. Is a lot of not starters in those drives. No scheme. Not scheming up plays. You're just trying to execute your offense, execute your defense, work on technique, get live reps, look at the back end of rosters. The Browns fans have been guilty of that at times, thinking that we've got something in the preseason that certainly does not come out, come to fruition, if you will, in the regular season. And that's happened many, many a time. But I didn't put a lot of stock in the 5 drives, 5 touchdowns talk for the Steelers, and wanted to see it in the regular season. We saw what it was in Week 1. We'll see where it goes from there, but I'm still not ready to call him a franchise quarterback.
Not just yet, for sure. 3rd and 6 now for Burrow and the Bengals. They're back into scoring area again after they forced the 3 and out of the Ravens. Now Burrow, shotgun snap, back to pass. 4-man, now 5-man blitz, left side, wide open, T. Higgins. Touchdown, Bengals. There was nobody over there, and Higgins is into the end zone. The Bengals add 6 more.
Yeah, a little busted coverage here, a little miscommunication. You can see it going on right there as 23 came up to try to cover underneath. Realized, responsible for that back third back there. That was my job. And there is T. Higgins sitting in the waiting spot, just ready to burn them for the lack of communication. Somebody forgot their responsibility on that one. Maybe thought they were supposed to be playing cover 2 or cover 1, but were not in the spot they were supposed to be.
Was John Johnson the third part of that coverage back there? That felt like the last time we've seen stuff like that.
Right.
Here's a throw to the left side, and he's got Flowers for a big first down. Jackson completes his first pass of the game, and it's going to go for 27. Or excuse me, Bateman, not Flowers. It's a 7, not a 4, Phil. Rashad Bateman out on the left side, and Jackson with a nice throw to start this drive.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying he won't be a franchise quarterback. I just haven't seen it from him yet. He can get there. I think he's got talent. He needs to be consistent. He needs to be... But then again, I think he's also potentially fool's gold a bit, like we've seen with many other quarterbacks that have had, some level of talent, but then you have to have the consistency. You have to have that development. Part of the, there's a couple of things, a couple of knocks on him that are a little, our stat, there's some stat knocks on the, doesn't get a ton of yards in games. I think he's only ever had a single throwing touchdown in any game he's ever played. I don't think he's ever gotten more than one. A couple of other things like that, but right now, I don't know how much is him. I don't know how much is their offensive coordinator. There's something to be said for that also, and it may be that he's being held back somewhat too. And not to mention that they've got to protect him, and that line is not great right now.
No, I know there's not a lot of Matt Canada fans in Pittsburgh. He's the offensive coordinator, and now Awuzie is going to pick off Lamar. And Jackson actually makes the tackle, but Chidobe Awuzie picking off Lamar, and the Ravens cannot get out of their own way here in the first quarter.
Yeah, just well underthrown.
Like he just ran the route. Beckham.
Yep.
Yeah, Beckham was the intended receiver.
Just not enough on it.
Well, okay. 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers here in the first quarter. Quick out to the right side. He's got Higgins, and it's another near first down. They'll go 7 Burrow. Now 12 of 17 for a $135. Talk about trying to get right after what happened in Cleveland a week ago. 15 seconds as he takes the snap. 4-man rush. He'll go quick out route again. Irv Smith caught. First down Bengals. That's probably going to do it here for the first quarter. And Jadeveon Clowney actually credited with the tackle. He's another one of those edge rushers by committee that you were referencing there earlier. Kit, 10-0. Bengals lead at the end of the first. You're watching Phil Nagy and Kit Nagy. Nagy on Sports, the only place on YouTube where you can get full NFL sims using the most up-to-date rosters with live original commentary. Really appreciate everybody being on. Thank you so much to all of our subscribers. QB draw to the right side for Burrow. What's he doing?
And a
stiff arms Kyle Hamilton, and then gets pushed out of bounds.
Wow.
14 yards for Joey Football. He's back, baby. He's back.
That was a determined run, shall we say, from Joey B. He was going to get physical on that one, and impressive stuff.
Quick throw again to the left side. He's got Irv Smith again, the tight end of the 30, to the 25, and now the Bengals are really cooking with gas here in this passing game. I apologize. My dogs have gotten a second wind here and are playing right next to me and my microphone. Burrow under center. A couple of tight ends here. Oh, nice block by Mixon inadvertently. Left side, touchdown! Wide open T. Higgins for a second one in the first half. And out of the play action, Mixon got absolutely drilled, but sort of ended up blocking the blitzing Roquan Smith. That was all the space that Burrow needed. That was a dime to Higgins. Yeah, touchdown, Bengals.
Absolutely was a dime. That's the risk with these receivers. They've got such a good receiving core and really kind of cover the gambit in terms of abilities and skills with those 3 guys. They can do it all. And arguably 2 number 1 receivers. But Higgins earlier in this game was struggling getting a connection with Burrow. Burrow had targeted him a number of times with some incompletions, but they seem to be on the same page now. The busted coverage seems to have worked out in their advantage. And this time, not even a busted coverage, but a matchup that they liked, getting T. Higgins out there in some space with a little separation, and Joey Burrow puts it right on him.
17-0 now. Jackson has more, well, based on that one. Now he has the same amount of completions as he does interceptions here. That's a quick throw to Mark Andrews, who is expected to be back in this one. Justice Hill, presumably, actually ran pretty well after Dobbins got hurt in the game. Presumably the new running back one. You'll also see Gus the Bus and the rookie Keaton Mitchell as well. And now here's Hill rather, and he's got the first down. So Justice Hill already 8 for 32 in this game for the Ravens, which is pretty good for him, but Lamar's got to get going again. I didn't get to watch any of the Ravens game. I don't know, Kid, if you did with this new Todd Monken offense, and I know people are excited about what Zay Flowers was able to do and how they were able to scheme him open a lot, but I'm sure Madden isn't going to quite catch up to that just yet.
No, I'm sure they're not. I did not get to watch the Ravens either, so I am curious. I heard some rumblings about what people were saying about that offense. It seems a bit disjointed from what I've heard, which is, kind of not unusual early in a season with a new offensive coordinator, especially one that's a vast departure from what you had been doing before. As Greg Roman's offense is nothing like Todd Monken's, as we know. But But yeah, so certainly some intrigue there. If they figure it out, obviously they've got some weapons. I did hear good things about Zay Flowers and how he looks out there getting open. But you know, the question is going to be, how is Lamar going to perform in that style of offense that may or may not be actually, you know, suited for his strengths.
That time they tried the old school option keeper, and the Bengals were all over actually tackling him for a loss. Now they'll go 5 wide here on a 3rd and 11, and they really, really need some points on this drive if possible. Now Lamar back to pass. Good time, firing right side, tipped, and then almost caught by Bateman. But incomplete is the result, and I would assume even from midfield here that we will go ahead and see Jordan Stout and the punt team, and that's exactly what we are going to see. So really, really rough start for the Ravens on offense, and credit the Bengals for capitalizing and scoring points. All right, Burrow under center. X Factor superstars all over the place. He's going to keep going to the one he's been going to. Apologize, everyone. The dog is out of control tonight. She's just having a grand old time. 2nd and 4 after the 6-yard completion to T. Higgins. So he's really picked it up again, as Kit pointed out. Struggled maybe on the first couple of throws to get to him. And now Mixon's going to set up a 3rd and 1 for the Bengals. Another tackle for Patrick Queen. Again, did not get his 5th-year option picked up. Is it his last year in Baltimore? Time will certainly tell. Remember, he was a teammate of Jacob Phillips there at LSU on that same defense.
Yes, Wendell. We go in after the actual week occurs and Force wins the real results from the NFL. So all the records will be correct. The actual games that are played don't necessarily match, as you might have seen at the beginning of this one. Chase had a much better game in week 1 than he did in real life in the sim. And I'm sure T. Higgins probably did as well. But you know, I don't think the sim was ever going to have our defense play quite that well.
No. I think the sim score was 34-28 Browns, which I think in our actual sim, wasn't it 34-28 Bengals? Wasn't that the score? So we scored like that late touchdown and got an onside kick.
Yeah, I'd have to look. I think that sounds right, but I'd have to look.
I don't know, I thought it was like exactly the same, and I was like, how weird is that they were like, this will be the score of this game. And because we forced it to be the Browns, they got that one done.
And it was all because they didn't announce the uniforms in time, so we didn't have them in the orange pants.
That's right, but you bet your bottom dollar they're going to be in the whites.
That's right.
When we sim against the Steelers.
That's right, because we know it in advance.
That's right. Here comes Irv Smith to the left side, and he's going to have another 1st and goal now. 245 yards passing in the first half. We still got 5 minutes to go. Burrow might get benched again, but it's because they'll be up by so much here in this one. Now Mixon wide open up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Spread him out, and he ran right on down Broadway, and the Bengals pouring it on now.
So what did you say you thought the scoreline was for the Browns?
34-28. Isn't that? Was that what our sim was? It was pretty close to that, I thought.
Yeah, 34-28.
That's weird. So yeah, when I Force won it, it was Browns 34-28.
Yep, good memory. 34-28, you had it.
There we go. Broken tackle on the left side, and then he'll go down. Duvernay. All right, well, gosh, Baltimore is in trouble. Hey, Sean, welcome in. Do you really think that they would do that, Will? You think they're just going to be ready to move on? Or just keep riding their rookies on defense and just really, really overpay for their offense in the grand scheme of things? All right, 2nd and 3 now. Here comes Hill up the middle, and he's got a 1st down. Justice Hill, again, but really the only bright spot for this Ravens offense now. 44 yards on his first 11 touches of the game. Another little heavy pistol look here. Like, I'm not sure how much of that, how much pistol is in the Todd Monken offense, I wonder. Now he'll roll and he'll fire left side to Hill And he'll pick up another gain of 7 before Mike Hilton brings him down. Here comes Lamar again. Quick throw left side. Tipped and then almost caught again. I thought maybe that one was about to get pick-sixed again. Cam Taylor-Britt on the coverage. And now a big 3rd and 3. Ravens really, really need something here. Big blitz coming. He feels it. He goes to Mark Andrews. That's a smart decision. Find your guy. Mark Andrews over the middle. First down, Ravens. Linderbaum and Stanley both still haven't practiced this week, but I haven't taken them out, and Lamar throws another pick. Cam Taylor-Britt this time jumping in front of Odell Beckham, and Lamar looks like doo-doo here today.
Well, as we know, with Madden, it's got that momentum meter thing going, but it's especially bad for quarterbacks when it comes to turnovers. When it rains, it pours. They break that seal, and it's like they can't help themselves anymore. It's like turnover city.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad for sure. And on the other side of this, the Bengals offense is a large boulder rolling down a steep hill. Another first down over the middle here. Tyler Boyd. May be his first catch. Yep, his first catch. 2-minute warning here. Again, appreciate everybody being on. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel, we would very much appreciate that as we continue to grow our audience. Also, make sure that you like the video, which helps to grow the audience as well. If you want to take your Nagy on Sports fandom to the next level, you can join us on our Discord channel. Use the invite link that's in the description of this and any of our other videos, which will alert you in advance of when we're going to go live, and also chat with us about all things football related between the Sims as well. And then you can also vote on which games you would like to see. Like this one was the highest vote getter by the Discord folks this week. 3rd and 3 incomplete that time. Burrow in the zone now. I can't remember if he's run and gun or pro read. I can't remember what they gave him, but he's in the zone now. He's back to pass. Fires. And knocked out by Humphrey. And a little bit of a bend but don't break that time for the Ravens defense. They're going to get off the field.
I'll tell you what, though, if the Bengals can pull off something like this in real life, this would be one heck of a get-right game for them in the AFC North. If they were able to come out and stick it to the Baltimore Ravens quite like this, this would certainly get them well on their way to recovering from Week 1.
Yeah, it sure would. It sure would. 27-0 now after the McPherson field goal goes through. So $1:45 on the clock. Justice Hill, again, as we talked about, the only real bright spot of the offense. 11 carries, 44 yards for him in the absence of J.K. Dobbins now. $1:45 now, setting up screen, and Jackson can't get rid of it. B.J. Hill got in there and just nowhere to go with it again, as it looked like he was open. He had blockers out there, but Lamar just can't get rid of it, and that's been a Madden thing that we have seen before. Look at Hill there with all the blockers. That would have gone for a while.
Yep.
2nd and 22 now. They'll go back to a pistol. And blitz coming. They're putting all kinds of pressure on Lamar. He'll dump it off quickly. Nice little run after the catch for the 3rd tight end, Charlie Kohler. And Isaiah Likely. And now 3rd and 12, and the Bengals actually call timeout, assuming that we're going to get a run here, which we do. And then they'll call another timeout and get the punt back. So they are keeping the pedal to the metal. 27-0. Here's Charlie Jones, the rookie out of Purdue, and he'll get to the 35, call it the 36, which is where Joseph Football will take him. How about that game for T. Higgins? 9 for $138 and 2 touchdowns. That would be a great game, and we're not even at halftime yet.
That's right.
Burrow still in the zone, trips to the right side. They're going to keep attacking here. A little RPO, perhaps, and it's almost picked. That was weird.
That would have been a great opportunity to try to get back in.
Receiver.
That would have been a great opportunity to try to get back in this ball game. A little momentum to your side, a pick 6, because he had nobody that had a chance to get him if he comes away with that pick.
That one's also going to be incomplete. So a couple of incompletions here now. See if they continue to try to throw, or if maybe they'll run it, try to run some clock this time. Nope. Burrow back to pass. Rolling, firing, deep to the right side. Drops it in a bucket at the 31. And Tyler Boyd makes a great catch over top of Kyle Hamilton. What a throw. And look at this. Just drops it right in the bucket on Boyd. Oh, what a throw for Burrow.
Yeah, it was pretty. Just coming out of that slot position, got yourself lined up in the against a safety the way you drew it up. In fact, that was almost identical to that slot fade kind of look they were trying to get for T. Higgins into the end zone in week 1. But this time to Boyd working the sideline and a beautiful catch. If he had that first foot
I think the right
down,
foot might actually be out.
I don't know. It's going to.
I think the right foot, yeah.
Yeah, apparently was out. I guess they didn't say he had possession when he had his other foot down.
Doesn't take away from how beautiful the throw was. Boyd not quite able to get that second foot in. And they will punt it back to the Ravens with 37 seconds. Yeah, you're right. That did look a lot like the one that Delpit played really, really nice defense on against T. Higgins. Jackson now back to pass. He'll roll to the left side. Now fire deep back to the right. Wide open. Somebody got behind him. It's Beckham. Touchdown. 77 yards. Odell Beckham got behind everybody somehow. How can you let that happen with 40 seconds left in the half?
I don't know.
Ravens with a huge gift.
Well, they caught him napping. OBJ got well behind the defense. As a safety, you're never supposed to let anybody be deeper than you are on the field, and that time, not the case, as OBJ had snuck back there without anybody going with him, and he was easily 5 yards beyond the defenders. It would have been, in the soccer world, that would have been well offsides.
Yeah, 77 yards. Well, the funny part is he looked like he was going to run, and then he caught a glimpse of him and kind of just spun back around and literally threw it as far as he could. And Beckham just kind of sat there like a punt return, waited for it, and walked into the end zone. What a play there, and that is a huge gash into the momentum. Ravens are going to get the second half kick as well. So might this be the spark that ignites a little bit of a comeback here?
Yeah, a little pressure right there in Joe Burrow's face, too. He absolutely dirted that one because of the hit he took while trying to release it.
Yeah, they got him a little bit rattled here. Defense is a little excited. There's a throw and a first down to Chase. Brandon Stevens, former Penn State Nittany Lion, now taking over for the injured Marcus Williams at that free safety spot. 21 seconds. Burrow blitz coming from the far right side. They don't feel it. He throws it late and he drops it. Oh, it was almost that same throw, but just a little bit too far out of the hands and out of bounds for T. Higgins, setting up a 2nd and 10. I thought he was about ready to throw that pass again. Burrow, now he'll just chuck this one out of bounds. Just hand the ball off and get to halftime here, Zach. What are you doing, buddy? But now they're going to go trips right side again. Burrow still in the zone. Ravens rush 3. Burrow shuffling, standing, waiting. And now he'll fire deep left side and had a guy open and threw it over his head and out of bounds. Interesting. Now 3 seconds. They're going to punt away. Interesting little shift of momentum. Look at that thing. That momentum is all the way back down to the middle.
Yeah.
Based on that long touchdown and then essentially a 3 and out there. Maybe a 4 and out after the first down.
Right.
So 27-7 does feel like it's been all Bengals here, but the Ravens with the last 40 seconds of the half sort of coming to life like the Undertaker just popping out of this casket. And let's see what they have here for us in the second half here at Nagy on Sports. Let's flip the field and kick it off. From the goal line here, nice return out to the 25. Juke move again, all the way up to near the 30 for Devin Duvernay. And now stat line looks a little bit better with the 77-yard touchdown pass for Lamar. Still has the 3 interceptions here. Let's see if they can try to get back to their base offense a little bit here.
Well, and an opportunity
Play
really
action to Hill.
to double dip with this drive.
Another throw at a first down to Isaiah Likely. And yes, you're exactly right. The double dip is definitely in play. And 27-14 would feel a whole lot different than 27-0, which is what it was about 40 minutes ago. Here's Hill left side. Another first down. Nick Scott comes up to maybe save a touchdown. Another nice 11-yard run for Justice Hill. And a first down, Ravens.
And a little running attack to start the second half. Certainly it bodes well, as that'll open up more of the passing lane also, as yet another effective run up the middle. So some opportunity here for these Ravens if they can start to stack some plays and potentially get themselves into the end zone. That would be very big.
Absolutely. Option keeper Lamar. He's got some space. The first time we've seen him get out. Nice juke move to the 30. First time we've really seen him have positive yards with his legs. And that time the Bengals did not stay disciplined on it. Everybody went with Hill. Look at Ricard absolutely burying Nick Scott in a first down run for Lamar. And if he gets into the zone, of course, watch out. He becomes so dangerous.
Well, and credit
in Madden.
And credit Bateman with a very tenacious block out there on the edge, which also helped Lamar later into the run.
There's our first look at Zay Flowers, his first touch of the day, and it's a first down, or 7 yards towards the first down. 2nd and 3, Logan Wilson, the freshly re-signed linebacker. Now they'll shift the strength. Look at all those weird-looking formation on defense. Then they run away from it, and that's why if Hill's able to get the first down. That was weird that the linebackers and the safeties all went with Andrews to the other side. There was nobody on that side of the field. That was weird looking.
They were clearly in a man look, and they schemed him up for the weak side run. That was intentional. Look, if you were looking at it, the gap in the defense was right there, and they exploited it because there was nobody at the second level to take advantage of, to fill that hole.
That was weird. Another nice run for a first down for Justice Hill. Now 1st and goal for the Bengals. And look at that momentum. It's purple right now, friends. Watch out for the momentum swing. It is officially on here.
And ironically, Phil, that very same thing is what Deshaun Watson checked into that little option, or that little quarterback keeper draw for the touchdown. It was that exact look, man scheme. Caught him in a mug front with the cover 0 blitz. Nobody to cover on that backside. Little counter action, got the just enough hesitation to create the gap up the left side. Nobody at the second level, and he was able to capitalize on a downfield block from the wide receiver to spring him in for the touchdown.
That's right. Lamar, unfortunately, going to throw this one incomplete. That's right, because there was like a little bunch of 4 receivers to the right side.
They did the little diamond formation.
Cooper was alone on the left.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Cooper with a great block downfield, too.
Sure did. That was a great play. Again, as we've now heard famously, they added that play on, Kevin said, Saturday morning over coffee with AVP, and they decided to add that wrinkle to the play. They had the pass play part of it, but they did not have the run check. So he's like, and he even said today, I don't know if you heard his presser today, he was saying, like, we don't like to add plays that late. Like, we usually don't do that, but we just decided to this time.
It was a very late ad. It was on something that AVP saw on the film that he liked, especially that mug look in a cover 0 if they're gonna bring the house. And you've got the protection up front and nobody at the second level. The check to the run there, which you saw him can it. He goes can, and then can to the second play, gets to his little quarterback draw that they had drawn up on the Saturday morning, because specifically for that look, because they knew if they had 4 people out there in that man cover 0, that it'd suck everything away off to the opposite side, counteraction to draw the shift the momentum away from where you're going to go, and then that just, you're off to the races at that point. What a time to call for it, too. Well recognized and well executed. With a late install like that.
Welcome in, Kish. Hope you're doing well, my friend. As Burrow went deep down the right side, they've gone nothing but backwards again. The momentum steadily driving. They're going to go for the old draw on 3rd and 18, and they're going to lose further yards. And now on a 4th and 19, they're going to send their rookie punter out there. And the Ravens, again, have flipped some kind of switch here. Last 40 seconds of that half, the bomb to OBJ, and now they've got tremendous field position.
I think what Kishin is trying to say, Wendell, is if the Bengals look great against the Ravens, then that speaks highly of the Browns' defense in particular.
Yes, I would agree with that. Here comes Hill to the left side, and he's got another nice run. Now 77 yards for Justice Hill. I feel like every time we look at his yards, he's got 44, 55, now 77. He's only getting them in 11-yard increments here. Right side, now he'll cut back to the middle. Another big run, juke move, and Logan Wilson saving maybe a touchdown. Another huge run for Hill. And another first down in field goal range already for the Ravens. They're starting to click now on all cylinders.
Yeah, they sure are.
And I think it'll tell us a little bit about the Ravens, too, because they kind of struggled with Houston, who's going to be one of the 3 worst teams in the NFL this year. Yep. And Stroud actually looked pretty okay. So I think, and obviously they lost Dobbins in the middle of the game. They lost Williams, so in general, the conference, and a big touchdown throw to Andrews. And the Ravens are right back in it as he went up and mossed the defender. Touchdown, Ravens.
It was actually tipped. He tipped it to himself. This is a concentration cap. Look, he doesn't catch this at the top. He catches it right there on the second effort as it's coming down.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, it was beautiful. A thing of beauty. Just able to somehow make the catch on the second effort. Which a lot of times that'll get away from you because it's hard to track the ball when it's that close to you, and he had to do it purely by feel of where he thought the ball would be. It's doable, but man, that's hard.
Yeah, that was bonkers. That was good eye, Kid. I thought he just caught it. I thought he kind of went over the top and mossed it, but absolutely the tip drill to himself. And now 27-17. Don't call it a comeback here. Now Mixon up the middle. Trying to quiet the crowd a little bit. A little unsettling. Maybe some boo birds here in Paycor. Back to pass. Big drop. Dump it right side. Mixon, and he'll go down immediately. Good tackle again. Ronald Darby. He's had a couple of impact plays again in the new corner as they continue to try to find a replacement for Marcus Peters. Hey, Dwayne, welcome in. Hello to you as well. And a little RPO. They'll zip it right side, or a little play action, rather, and a first down catch again to Higgins. It's been very much a T. Higgins, Irv Smith kind of game. We have not heard much from Chase. And really, Tyler Boyd's had just maybe one catch, and the second big one where he stepped out of bounds. So not a ton of balance so far from the receiving core. Let's see if the last quarter and a half changes a little bit, as they're going to have to keep pushing. 27 points may not be enough to win this football game.
Yeah, very well might not be, as the Ravens have found a way back into this game, and they're really playing a different ball game than they were in the first half, and clearly they're energized here. Bengals are going to have to respond.
This one looked like it was almost picked again by Marlon Humphreys, who tried to squeeze it in there to Jamar Chase. We got a 3rd and 10 here. 4:53 to go, third quarter. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports joining you with our official Game of the Week sim as voted on by you, the fans. Oh, look at that strike over the middle. Smith, he breaks a tackle to the 20, to the 10, 5, and he'll go down at the 5-yard line. Humphreys saved a touchdown, but Irv Smith in a little fisticuffs getting up from the play, and a huge strike. Look at this beautiful camera angle. You can see how open he is right in the middle of that defense.
Yep, just found that little spot, happy spot between the linebacker settling in the hook zone and the safety behind him, able to create a little space in that window. Burrow puts it right on him, and then some broken tackles later. Here we are down on the 5.
Roquan with a good tackle there. 27-17 now. 2nd and goal from the 5. Mixon to the right side, and he'll get stuck by Humphrey. Good tackle there by Marlon Humphrey. touchdown, throw to the right side. It's the hat trick for T. Higgins. 3 touchdown catches today for T. And he is saying, give me my money. Give me my money.
Digital T. Higgins trying to make up for the abysmal showing the real one had in week 1. As he just couldn't get anything going, but here he has been fabulous. In fact, his stat line is going to be absolutely great at the end of this game, as it is only in the third quarter, 3 minutes left of the third quarter, in fact, and you're looking at what could easily be a full game stat line. In fact, it was that before the end of the first half.
Yes, it was.
So I saw that too, Amari or Kishan. That I don't. It's not a tear, clearly, because we would have known about that if it was some kind of season ender. I'm not sure if it was like a bruise in that area or like, but it didn't sound to me like a like something to be overly concerned with, because you'd expect something newsworthy out of that. And all it was on the injury report. Did not practice for Achilles. But I'm suspecting that's a location, not the actual tendon.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to IR and calling somebody up.
Right, exactly.
Situation.
Which so I didn't.
J.K. Dobbins.
I did not. Yeah, I did not take that to be overly concerning. It's more likely. I mean, it's more likely he's got some kind of cut. Or scrape or bruise or something in that area, and not actually any damage to his Achilles.
Lamar can't convert. That one's going to go out of bounds, 4th and 11. And they will punt this one away, and I think he roughed him, and he did, and the Ravens are going to get bailed out.
Well,
I don't even think he roughed him. He just ran into him that time.
Yeah, running into the kicker. But no, they're going to get the personal foul out of this, so it is a first down.
They are. Joseph Osayi, who did not play against the Browns, coming back from an injury. He's a talented young pass rusher, Texas Longhorn, but commits a big penalty there and keeps the Ravens with a little bit of a pulse here down. Of course, by 17 now.
So
504. Right Andrews, another catch for him.
So 504, we went with the voting. This was the number 1 vote getter. The other game that I'm going to be bringing tomorrow is the Jacksonville. Who are they playing? Jacksonville and
Kansas City.
Kansas City. That's right. Yeah, Jacksonville and Kansas City game tomorrow, and then Saturday is the plan for getting to the Monday Night Football for Browns and Steelers.
Yep. That is the plan. And you can assume that it will not be during the Ohio State game. So.
Right.
Which they start at 4. They have a weird 4 o'clock start time on Saturday. Second and 5, 30 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Ravens need a touchdown if they want to try to stay in this one. Quick throw left side. Good tackle in space by Hilton as he shoves Zay Flowers to the ground. That 20-year, I think it's 20 straight regular season games in Pittsburgh that we have lost. The playoff game does not count in that streak, obviously.
Right, it's been since what?
But yes, that would be
2004 since we won in their stadium.
Yeah, something
season?
Like that. Yep.
I think that was the last time.
Something like that.
It's been a long time. Far too long.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, you're right. Tomlin always has them play. I mean, they'll be a little bit embarrassed about last week, but that one's going to go out of bounds the back of the end zone, and they're going to have to likely settle for a long field goal here. San Francisco bullied them, just absolutely bullied them, and so I'm hopeful that we can kind of have the same effect with our defensive line, which has so far been as advertised. And if we can bully them and get a lead, then I like the ability to rush the passer and take Nagy out of the game. Because there were a few runs where Mixon got some, and ironically, or not ironically, but all of those runs were when Dalvin Tomlinson was not on the field.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Dalvin Tomlinson came on the field, they stopped running up the middle. So take that for what you will.
Right.
Mixon's going to get shoved to the ground. A Nagy on Sports Fantasy Football League, huh? We've bantered about the idea before. We have over 1,000 subscribers on the channel. How would we decide who got to make it into the league? What are we going to do, a 1,000-person league? Everybody picks one football player. Burrow, deep shot, right side open. He's got Irv Smith again, and Irv Smith having a career-type day here. It's Burrow now knocking on the door of 4 Bills through the air. That was a drop in the bucket again, and maybe another blown coverage, Kit.
Yeah, it certainly was, as they managed to find yet more space on this defense, which has been really their biggest weakness there in the secondary, being very much exploited. You can see the absence of Marcus Williams very much affecting them in this game, and then, of course, you know, they downgraded, quite honestly, they downgraded in that defense anyway. So that is one of the places where this, like I said, I think they're getting credit just based on reputation right now for this defense. They were not particularly special against Houston, and you know, I don't know that they're as good as advertised right now. Because, you know, we talked about the edge rush by committee, we talked about that secondary, but that's clearly where they're exploiting them here are the Bengals.
Sort of in the same way that the Browns aren't getting maybe the credit that they're due, potentially based on reputation.
Exactly. Just the opposite direction of that.
Yep. And left side, and how about 4 for T. Higgins? 4 touchdown catches. Oh my gosh. Me and all of his other fantasy owners, I would really like that kind of a day, but Burrow finds him open again, and he just waltzes right in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. T. Higgins, 4 touchdowns, and that's probably going to shut the door on the Ravens' comeback hopes.
I mean, that'd be what, like 35 to 40 points or something ridiculous with the kind of day he's had?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the PPR part of it, too.
Yep.
Like, you get like 13 points for his catches. You're going to get like 15 points for his yards, and then, yeah, you'd get 24 points for his touchdowns. So, yeah, it'd be quite a robust day.
Oh, yeah. Well,
to have 4 touchdowns.
You'd take any of those double-digit lines above like 15, 16 is a pretty decent day for any fantasy player. But, you know, getting into the 20-plus for the score line alone, or for the touchdowns alone, that's huge. And then add all 3 of them together. It's like 3 times of a good score. I mean, it's, you know, 3 scores you'd happily take with 3 separate players, let alone 1, is what I was trying to say.
Right. Another sack there for B.J. Hill. I mean, Kishin, again, obviously I'm a little bit of a homer, but I'm gonna disagree with you there. I don't think the 49ers would have beaten the Browns 24-3 last week.
No, but I'll tell you,
the Browns are significantly better than the Steelers.
I agree, and I think that the defense would have played it much tighter than that. It'd have been a huge defensive struggle, probably, with the way the offense was performing in Week 1. Fortunately, the Browns don't have to play the 49ers till Week 5, but let me tell you, that one is shaping up to be an absolute doozy.
Oh, yeah, it is. 13 for 190. So, yeah, he'd have 13 points for his catches, he'd have 19 points for his yards, and he'd have 24 points for his touchdowns. So, he'd be doing all right. He'd be pushing 60.
Yeah, potentially more to come.
Potentially more to come with 11:17 to go. Now that looks like they're going to be into chew clock mode here and hand the ball off mode. I mean, Cam Hayward being out helps a lot. And I'm kind of excited to see DeWand against TJ Watt. Like,
I am too.
I want to see what the kid can do. Like, yeah. I think he's going to surprise us. Like, well, I don't think he's going to have like 5 sacks or anything.
No. I actually think if there is such a thing as matching up well against a TJ Watt, who is clearly a premier edge rusher, I mean, there's no doubt about that. But if there is such a thing as matching up well against a player like that, you look at a guy like DeJuan Jones, who is impossible to move because he is so large, and he's got incredible reach, and that's how you stop a guy like T.J. Watt. Is you make him really give him only one path to go around, and you make it hard for him to do that with that incredible reach and that punch that he's got.
When Cam Hayward is not on the field, they give up 5 yards per carry.
Yep.
So I would just run it, and I would run it right at T.J. Watt, and just be like, cool, try to get around DeJuan and neutralize him. But yeah, you can see them chipping, you can see them putting a tight end over there, but I think he'll be fine. I'm frankly less worried about him than I am Jed Wills.
Well, and that's what I was going to say.
To be honest.
That's what I was going to say, is I actually don't think you want to chip so much on T.J. Watt on that side of the football, so much as you probably want to help out Wills with the chips and the shifting the protection to his side a little bit more often to help him against Highsmith, because I think that's where the matchup favors the Steelers more significantly. Because Highsmith kind of does all the things. I don't know who the new right tackle. Highsmith kind of does all the things that Will struggles with.
Yes. I'm sure that they've, I'm sure they've been aggressive with him in practice this week, but the physical skills are there. Just his give a damn level and his
I don't
thought processes that he goes through with his drops.
It was interesting listening to the Hoff talk about it, because Joe Thomas basically was saying, look, his technique is light years ahead of what it used to be. In fact, it's much better than it was even last season already. It's just that he seems to not consistently know what his depth needs to be on each play, which is like get back in your playbook and dedicate some time and study and make sure you know exactly how deep you're supposed to be on every snap, because that's an execution problem. That's not a technique issue. So if his technique is there but his execution isn't, that's solvable, but you got to put the time in.
Yeah, whoever the 49ers right tackle is, because Mike McGlinchey left in free agency, so I don't know who it is, but it's not Trent Williams. So Watt's primarily on that right tackle side, is the side he likes to rush from. So now they may mix it up from time to time, but
true.
He did not sack Purdy 3 times against the All-Pro left tackle, Trent Williams. 6:20 to go here in this one. Another first down throw to Mark Andrews, but now we're at a 3rd and 1. Lamar being pestered in the backfield.
It is C. McKivitz.
Well, there you go. I think that's Chris McKivitz, and yeah, I would not have been able to pull that one out.
I had to look it up. That's the only reason I know. And the reason why it was C, not Chris, because the list just had C. McKivitz.
Right, that's my guess. That's my educated guess, Chris McKivitz. 4th and 1. Lamar, first down again. When in doubt, go to Andrews. Stick it between the 8 and the 9. He's got 10 catches now for 97 yards. Again, we are under the too little, too late heading of the game. Bengals will increase their record to 1-1 if this outcome holds. Ravens, Baltimore will slide down to 1-1, and that means if the Browns take care of business on Monday night, they will stand alone atop the division with 2 division wins at that. So we'll see. Yeah, it would have been really sloppy, obviously, with the weather so I think it would have been a lot closer. McCaffrey's obviously much more effective than Mixon would have been in that game, and even Purdy more effective than Burrow functionally became with how he looked back there. What was he saying afterwards? He's like, when it's just raining like really heavy, the ball just kind of gets like soaked and then it's fine. But they were like, it was just so like such light mist of sheets of rain as Mark Andrews is going to get into the end zone for a garbage time touchdown. But they were like, he said it was like the slickest football he's ever tried to throw, which obviously means it's the slickest football that Deshaun Watson has ever tried to throw, for those of you who think that he can't complete the deep pass.
Right, no doubt.
It was heavy and slick.
Well,
So, I'm reserving judgment to the passing game until we have a little better weather.
Right, yeah, they were talking about that because it was doing that weird misting thing. It sounded to me, from everything I heard, that the hands were not getting the full soaked, like wrinkly, maybe get a little bit more grip out of them, but the ball was getting slick, so you're kind of, no traction going on the ball. That's, from what I understand, what was going on. But I did actually look up, not actually Chris McKivitz, it's Colton McKivitz.
Oh, Colton McKivitz. I never would have had that.
No, I wouldn't have either.
Never would have had that. Yeah, for sure, Kish. I mean, we have every right to fear the Steelers. They've owned us for 2 decades. So, again, this is a different team. They're a different team. Like, there's different circumstances going on. They're going to be without their best receiver and their best interior defensive lineman, which matters. We're going to be without our starting right tackle. That also matters. So, but we'll see. Again, when you have a defense that's as aggressive and as physical and as get after the quarterback as ours is, like, that travels, as Bo Bishop said this week. That travels. So in theory, that's going to be there. And if you expect Nick Chubb to be there when you need him, like he was last week, and Deshaun won't be nearly as bad for the most part because it's not going to be sheets of weird, misty drizzle rain. I expect the passing game to take a step forward, and I think we're going to be just fine. I think this could be a 2-touchdown or more kind of a win.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean it won't be right away. Like, we might not step on them early like San Francisco did, but I think we'll be fine.
It was like the constant misting fans from the theme parks. Like, just somebody had set up a ton of those all around the stadium, and it was localized to just the stadium apparently.
Yeah, it sure was.
That's crazy. So very, very odd.
Yeah, many of our Nagy on Sports subscribers on the Discord channel were like, I live 20 minutes from the stadium and it's beautiful at my house. Like,
yeah, 5 minutes.
It was just like it parked right over top of the stadium.
5 minutes down the road, apparently you got to down the highway and you got to dry pavement.
Just wild. But it worked out for us because we could adjust and play that style, and
sure
Cincinnati,
can.
frankly,
well,
could
that's one of our big strengths now. Is that something we didn't have before, where we didn't have the ability to adjust to what the game called for. We only really had 1 or 2 things we could do. But now we've got a lot more than that, because trust me, I promise you, we can open it up in the passing game on a good weather day and make things happen. We've got the players to do it. Watson certainly has the confidence back. He's going to play well this season. I promise you, there's going to be some days you're going to see that, see Watson do everything you want him to do. So that's coming. That's coming.
Well, and the guys were there. Like, the schemes to get the guys open were there.
Yeah, the play calling was solid.
The heavy wet ball and, like, the cool play where Chubb took the snap. Like, Goodwin was wide open. Wide open. You can even see in the All-22, like, Dax Hill, like, oh, crap, and turns around and starts sprinting, but he wasn't going to get back there. Like, so those plays are there. Now another pick here to end this one. That's the 4th interception. 2 now in the day for Cam Taylor-Britt with 42 seconds. This one should wrap it up. So, again, I'm not worried about the offense at all, and I'm very excited about the defense. On paper, I think we have one of the 3 best rosters in the NFL. I haven't bought any Super Bowl tickets or anything stupid like that yet, but this is the best team that we've had since they left.
Yep, I'm with you.
4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. He does have to snap it one more time, which he does. Ball game here at Paycor, 41-27. Going to be the final in this one. Kit, why don't you wrap it up here? I'll cycle through some stats.
Well, there was a moment there where you felt like the Ravens might get themselves back into this game that was shaping up to be an absolute blowout.
Very true.
But they kind of just, kind of fell apart again and went back to the ways of the game earlier with the interceptions and the not so great play, as they just couldn't sustain it. They found ways early, but then that Bengals offense really just, once they get going, they're hard to stop. And sure enough, they were down for a little bit there as the Ravens got going, but then they stormed right back, found more spaces in that vulnerable Ravens secondary, and man, did they exploit that, with T. Higgins leading the way with an absolutely monstrous performance with all 4 of those Joe Burrow touchdown passes.
He had a monster day, 438 and the 4 touchdowns again. Lamar had 350 and the 3 touchdowns, and a huge day for Mark Andrews, but that was pretty much it. Mixon 20 for 66. He got into the end zone once. How about T. Higgins? 14 for 202 and the 4 touchdowns. Irv Smith, 12 for $167. 2 guys with double-digit catches and over 150 yards. It's bonkers. Chase just 3 for 46. And again, Tyler Boyd just 1 for 4 after that second one.
Chase, ironically, a lot like his actual stat line in week 1.
Yes, that's right. Well, yeah, that's right. So maybe he's due for what they said that he had in week 1.
Right.
11 for Logan Wilson, leading tackler in this one. 2 sacks for Hill, 1 for Reeder, all from the defensive tackles in this one. And the 2 picks for Cam Taylor-Britt, Awuzie, and Mike Hilton. Whoops, that's the wrong button, Phil. Kid, anything else to wrap this one up?
Nope. That was interesting AFC North spotlight game there, but we'll certainly, the real game will absolutely give us an interesting barometer on how good the Browns really are, especially that defense. Because if the Bengals go out and do this, especially T. Higgins does that against the real Ravens, then we'll know that our defense is indeed special.
Indeed. Guys, really appreciate you being on with us tonight. Again, Kit will bring you the Chiefs and Jacksonville Jaguars tomorrow. That was the second highest vote getter, so we'll do that one. And then again, look for the Browns and Steelers sometime on Saturday. You'll always find out in advance if you join us on our Discord channel. But we really appreciate you being on. For Kit out on the left coast, Phil here in Central Ohio, we are Nagy on Sports. Today we will say go Bengals. And as always, go Browns!